Hello, welcome to part 1, Photo Issues, Section B, part 2 of my Moon Hoax series. Thank you for joining me once again. In this video, I'm going to talk about more odd problems with the Apollo 11 moon photos, such as odd reflections in the photos, other odd technical anomalies in them, and the problems with the Hasselblad cameras within this particular situation. I call it the Hasselblad camera hoax. There's major problems with the use of the Hasselblad cameras supposedly on the moon, and I'm going to discuss that in this video. Please make a note that I'm going to talk about bill casing in a lot more in depth later in the series. I made a mistake talking about my schedule in some of the last videos, so this is the way it's going to go. In the next video, and in the videos over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to analyze old Newsweeks from the late 60s, and I'm going to analyze verbiage in there and photographic evidence of the supposed Apollo 11 moon landing. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the course of the next few weeks. Please make a note of that. So here we go with this video. There's a lot of issues with these photos. I could go on and on and on, but I'm trying to give you the major problems. The Earthrise photos are all composites, according to the Keenan book and other sources. Please keep that in mind. It was probably pasted into the moon photo, according to him and others. Modern editing tools basically prove this. Bill Casing was privy to documents in Mercury, Atlas, Apollo, and the Gemini programs. He knew about the faking and heavily exposed it. Once again, modern editing tools prove a lot of this. One of his big arguments is there was no blast crater under where supposedly the spaceship landed on the moon. In the photo, you don't even see an indentation or any kind of a dip under the spaceship. That is NASA photo AS11-40-5921. Look it up. It's one of his big arguments. It's a big problem and mass evidence of fakery. The force of the blast should have created something under the spaceship. Shadows and surface look very odd to me in these photos. Personally, I think the lunar surface looks like poured cement, and then they used some sort of plastic or a cover overlay over it to make it look like a craterous moon. There's also a lot of shadow problems in these photos. There's overlapping shadows which prove multiple sources of light. Every moon conspiracy researcher talks about this. There's light issues here. NASA claims the lunar surface was like a reflector. That's on page 29 of the Lagarde book. She even questions it, and I question it too. Stars are too faint on the moon according to NASA. It's a bad argument in regards to closeness. NASA claimed the lunar surface was like a reflector, but it doesn't look that lit up when you look at the research or the photographic evidence. Exposure settings are also an excuse by NASA. Some images have odd things. Objects overlap, crosshairs are behind images, and there's odd reflections in the visors. The Hasselblad cameras weren't good enough or didn't exist in this format to even be on the moon, in my opinion. There's no freezing or burnup. It makes no sense. Apollo 11 and NASA claimed they had modified Hasselblad cameras, but those never existed at the time. A lot of people don't know this. NASA was basically lying. I think the film would have burned up by radiation. All this information is all over the Lagarde book and many of the other sources. NASA claims special coating and precautions were taken, but no such patents or documentations ever existed at this time. The cameras just weren't good enough in said format. The Hasselblad cameras also had no viewfinders or light meters at the time on these models. but the photos were all perfect, it simply doesn't make any sense. The Astros were basically shooting blind. The Astros were also wearing the equivalent of oven mitts on the moon. This means all of this was faked. You can't have perfect photos in a scenario like that. A NASA photographer later confessed in regards to the photos, then quickly recanted like Buzz Aldrin did in the last 10 years. That's on page 130 of her book. Major evidence of fakery, a major red flag. There's evidence of spotlight on the moon. The light source is very direct. Cross shadows are impossible with the sun. A 3-point lighting system could have been used by Kubrick or somebody else. The LM, in my opinion, should be a lot brighter, but it's not. It's in shadow. Perfectly exposed faces under the visors doesn't make a lot of sense. There's also no dust on the lander. NASA claimed dust, but you can't see it in videos or photos. Some claim the orbiters could see the dust kicked up in the area. How can you see dust in photos when you can't even see the lander or the flag through telescopes, by astronomers, or through any other viewing format? It would make no sense. There's odd reflections in the visors of the astronauts, which suggest a possible stage light. NASA claims they are distorted reflections. Once again, they have an answer for everything, but it's not logical. In Apollo 12, Alan Bean's visor looks like a very bright stage light. This is also a big red flag. NASA claims these anomalies mean it was real. In my view, these anomalies mean it was all faked, meaning the entire Apollo project. None of this adds up. Therefore, it's all a hoax, in my opinion. The photos are the biggest red flag. Okay, once again, thank you for your time, thank you for your consideration. My next video is going to be on an old Newsweek from August of '69. I'm going to analyze the photographic evidence and the verbiage within it. Few people have these magazines, so you may want to check out the next video. Thank you for your time. It's free to subscribe.